Are you tired of feeling drained, belittled, or disrespected by your family? You're not alone. Unfortunately, toxic family members can be found in many families, and their negative behavior can have a serious impact on our well-being. But it's important to remember that we have the power to set boundaries and take care of ourselves, even in the face of toxic behavior. Let's take a closer look at the 10 signs of toxic family members and learn how to protect ourselves and create healthier relationships. Number 1, they are manipulative and control others. A toxic family member expresses a behavior of being manipulative and controlling towards others. This can take many forms, such as manipulating people's emotions or actions through manipulation, trying to control what others do or think, or trying to manipulate situations to get what they want. Toxic family members who are manipulative and controlling may try to use their power or influence to get others to do what they want, even if it is not in the best interest of the person being manipulated. They may also use subtle or covert tactics to manipulate others, such as gaslighting or manipulating people through guilt or fear. This type of behavior can be emotionally draining and can lead to feelings of powerlessness or mistrust in relationships. Number 2, they regularly put others down or belittle them. They have a behavior of regularly putting others down or belittling them. This can include negative or hurtful comments about someone's appearance, abilities, or worth. It can also involve mocking or teasing someone in a way that is meant to be hurtful or demeaning. Toxic family members who engage in this behavior may try to make themselves feel superior by belittling others, or they may try to control or manipulate others through criticism. This type of behavior can be very damaging to the self-esteem and confidence of the targeted person, and it can create an unhealthy dynamic in relationships. If you are experiencing this type of behavior from a family member, it may be helpful to seek support and consider setting boundaries to protect your own well-being. Number 3, they are emotionally or physically abusive. They express the behavior of being emotionally or physically abusive. Emotional abuse can take many forms, such as verbal abuse, which includes shouting, name-calling, or mocking, psychological abuse, which includes manipulating, gaslighting, or controlling behavior, which includes restricting access to resources or controlling who someone can see or talk to. Physical abuse involves any type of physical violence or aggression, such as hitting, slapping, or pushing. Toxic family members who engage in emotional or physical abuse often try to assert power and control over others, through fear and intimidation. This type of behavior can be extremely harmful and can lead to serious physical injuries, as well as emotional and psychological damage. If you are experiencing abuse from a family member, it is important to seek support and consider your safety. This may include seeking help from a trusted friend or family member, seeking support from a therapist or counselor, or seeking help from a domestic violence hotline or shelter. Number 4, they are unsupportive or critical of others' goals and aspirations. They have this behavior of being unsupportive or critical of others' goals and aspirations. This can involve discouraging or undermining others' efforts to pursue their dreams or goals, or criticizing their choices or decisions. Toxic family members who engage in this behavior may try to control or manipulate others by undermining their confidence or motivation. They may also be motivated by jealousy or a desire to keep others from achieving success. This type of behavior can be damaging to the self-esteem and motivation of the person being targeted, and it can create an unhealthy dynamic in relationships. It can be especially difficult if the person experiencing this behavior is already struggling with self-doubt or insecurity. If you are experiencing this type of behavior from a family member, it may be helpful to seek support and consider setting boundaries to protect your own well-being and pursue your goals. Number 5, they constantly play the victim or blame others for their problems. They will express the behavior of constantly playing the victim or blaming others for their problems. Toxic family members who engage in this behavior may try to deflect responsibility for their own actions or choices by blaming others or making themselves out to be the victim in a given situation. They may also try to manipulate others by eliciting sympathy or guilt. This type of behavior can be emotionally draining and can create an unhealthy dynamic in relationships. It can be especially difficult if the person experiencing this behavior is expected to constantly be supportive, or to take on a caregiver role. It is important to recognize that everyone makes mistakes and has their own problems, and it is not healthy or fair to constantly blame others or play the victim. If you are experiencing this type of behavior from a family member, it may be helpful to seek support and consider setting boundaries to protect your own well-being. Number 6, they are dishonest or regularly lie to others. This can involve telling outright lies or deceiving others through omission or manipulation. Toxic family members who engage in this behavior may do so to manipulate or control others, or to avoid responsibility or consequences for their actions. This type of behavior can be damaging to trust and can create an unhealthy dynamic in relationships. It can be especially difficult if the person experiencing this behavior is expected to constantly be on guard or to second-guess the honesty of the person who is lying. If you are experiencing this type of behavior from a family member, it may be helpful to seek support and consider setting boundaries to protect your own well-being and maintain healthy relationships. Number 7, they are consistently disrespectful towards others. This can involve showing a lack of regard for others' feelings or boundaries, or behaving in a way that is rude or dismissive. Toxic family members who engage in this behavior may try to assert power or control over others through disrespect, or they may simply not care about the impact of their words or actions on others. This type of behavior can be hurtful and can create an unhealthy dynamic in relationships. It can be especially difficult if the person experiencing this behavior is expected to constantly be on guard, or to tolerate disrespectful behavior. It is important to remember that everyone deserves to be treated with respect and kindness, and it is not healthy or fair to consistently behave disrespectfully towards others. If you are experiencing this type of behavior from a family member, it may be helpful to seek support and consider setting boundaries to protect your own well-being and maintain healthy relationships. Number 8, they have difficulty maintaining healthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries are the limits we set for ourselves that define what is and is not acceptable in a relationship. They help us to take care of ourselves and protect our physical, emotional, and mental well-being. Toxic family members who have difficulty maintaining healthy boundaries may invade others' privacy, intrude on their personal space, or expect excessive amounts of time and attention. They may also be overly controlling or demanding, or may expect others to fulfill their needs without regard for the other person's boundaries. This type of behavior can be emotionally draining and can create an unhealthy dynamic in relationships. It can be especially difficult if the person experiencing this behavior is expected to constantly be available, or to put their own needs aside to meet the needs of the other person. If you are experiencing this type of behavior from a family member, it may be helpful to seek support and consider setting boundaries to protect your own well-being and maintain healthy relationships. Number 9, they are unwilling to listen to or consider others' perspectives. Toxic family members who engage in this behavior may be overly dismissive or discount the feelings or experiences of others. They may also be unwilling to compromise or consider the needs of others in decision-making or problem-solving. This type of behavior can be frustrating and can create an unhealthy dynamic in relationships. It can be especially difficult if the person experiencing this behavior is expected to constantly conform to the wishes or perspectives of the other person, or if their own needs and feelings are not validated or respected. If you are experiencing this type of behavior from a family member, it may be helpful to seek support and consider setting boundaries to protect your own well-being and maintain healthy relationships. Number 10, they are consistently negative or bring others down. Toxic family members who engage in this behavior may regularly complain, criticize, or spread negativity to others. They may also try to undermine others' efforts or accomplishments, or may be pessimistic or fatalistic in their outlook. This type of behavior can be draining and can create an unhealthy dynamic in relationships. It can be especially difficult if the person experiencing this behavior is expected to constantly be a source of positivity or support, or if they are consistently exposed to negative attitudes and behaviors. If you are experiencing this type of behavior from a family member, it may be helpful to seek support and consider setting boundaries to protect your own well-being and maintain a positive outlook. Dealing with toxic family members can be difficult and emotionally draining. Here are some potential strategies for managing toxic behavior from family members. Set boundaries. It's important to establish clear boundaries with toxic family members to protect your own well-being. This may involve setting limits on how much time you spend with them, how much personal information you share with them, or what behavior you are willing to tolerate. Seek support. It can be helpful to talk to a trusted friend, family member, or therapist about your experiences with toxic family members. They can provide emotional support and help you to process your feelings. Practice self-care. Taking care of yourself is crucial when dealing with toxic family members. Make sure to prioritize self-care activities, such as exercise, relaxation techniques, or hobbies, to help you manage stress and maintain a healthy balance. Seek professional help. If you are experiencing abuse or other serious forms of toxic behavior from a family member, it may be helpful to seek professional help from a therapist or counselor. They can provide support and guidance for managing the situation and protecting your well-being. Consider your options. Depending on the severity of the toxic behavior, you may need to consider other options, such as limiting or ending contact with the toxic family member, or seeking help from a domestic violence hotline or shelter. It's important to prioritize your safety and well-being. Toxic family members can have a serious impact on our well-being and relationships. It's important to recognize the signs of toxic behavior and take steps to protect ourselves and set boundaries. If you are experiencing toxic behavior from a family member, it may be helpful to seek support from friends, family, or a therapist and consider setting boundaries to protect your own well-being. Remember that you deserve to be treated with respect and kindness, and it is possible to create healthier relationships with your family. Do you find these signs related to one of your family members? Tell us in the comment down below. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing videos. See you next time.